Hey, it's me. I ran out of gas. No, I thought I could make it. I mean, the thing said, I know. So you go to Gary Maloney and I'll call you. I know, just, so you go to, yeah.
How are you? Good to see you again.
D-U-P-R-E?
D-U-P-R-E-E, I think.
All right. And you think he's from California? Is that what
he
you
says he is. He could be from anywhere. I don't even know that he's American.
All right, look. We are not PIs.
I know.
We're documentary researchers, but this is really not the sort of thing. It's not the sort of thing I really like to do. I don't have anything against this guy. Okay.
Nor do I. He might be great. I just need to know. I just need to know who we're working with. He might be fantastic. It might all add up.
I'm a little uneasy about this. I'm happy to do it as a favor. Obviously, we're interested in working with you on your Republican clients. We are a Republican firm. Okay, well, we're not talking more than a few thousand unless I say that there's something that trips over.
Okay, and maybe there's some way I'll work it into another job. I'll make sure it's taken care of.
All right. Well, obviously, I would appreciate that. I'm doing this as a favor. We don't do personal research as a rule, but this is all public stuff, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Right. Look, they're not torching their oil fields. They're not taking our hostages. They're not doing a million things that every other country in the Middle East is doing.
They want to get into the WTO. They have a new commerce minister. They're putting their girls in the education ministry.
Is that why the protesters are down front?
Where we're at, but right now
we're getting carried away.
Let's not even get into our talking
I'm sorry,
points
I'm
yet.
late. Can somebody tell me what happened?
No, we're not telling you. That's your punishment.
We're talking about people in this town who want to rip us apart.
Let's
wait a second so I can find out what happened.
our tardy son here. The Council for Mideast Progress, our client, who's been paying us a lot of money, has put out on the street that's a front for terrorist financing. So.
Are they?
No, I called Treasury.
Wait a minute, what? You had to call? Didn't we already know this?
Oh, well, Bergstrom gave us the client.
Who vetted the
Bergstrom.
This is what I'm talking about.
We all read,
okay?
read
The
Time.
Saudis, whose side are they on, okay? Nobody reads beyond the cover of Time magazine. Is this what you want to be connected to?
Harvard University is connected to.
Harvard University is connected to them.
There's the Bin Laden chair at Harvard University. Every firm in this town is connected with the Saudis.
Every oil company, everything that you can imagine, the Carlyle Group.
Is that they're reforming.
The defense is that it's not true.
And they're an ally, and they're a member of the UN.
Now, we're going to have to fight this thing back.
I'm confused.
I'm going to have to live through it.
I'm confused about your position, though, because you want us to drop the client. You think it's you called it a noble time to back out, but last week you were talking to Prince Bandar. I'm just not clear what side you're on. I'm not clear who you're. I don't even know what you're.
Do you have videotape of me talking to Prince Bandar? I never talked to Prince Bandar. I never talked to the artist formerly known as Prince Bandar. Okay, I have never talked to a Prince Bandar.
Consider this: A, somebody dimes us, falsely links us to terrorism. B, we got these protesters. I got a senator. I got the head of the whole goddamn Amnesty International sitting out there ready to come down on my head. Okay? Today is Saudi Arabia National Day. Mary and I, guess where we have to show up with our happy little asses? Right at the Saudi embassy, cameras, we're right on the thing. Okay? Now, you think that all this is happenstance, and then we got Mr. Integrity here, that we can't touch anything.
Well, we got to get out in front of it.
I mean,
it's not a moral argument.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a moral argument.
What kind of argument is it?
The argument is one simply of the bottom line.
I'm not saying drop
But this
the client.
is a country that is trying to reform. Crown Prince
Absolutely.
Abdullah has a charter for reform. They have a new commerce minister.
There's a
They
million
want to
ways
get
to
in
spin this in
WTO.
our favor.
Stop! Let's say all the reasons, because we're going to have to
Right, they're
review.
victims of terror
Let's get our
as
talking
well.
There
points
you
together.
go. Okay.
They're 20
been an
minutes from
ally for,
Israel.
you know,
They're 20 minutes from
I think,
Israel. That's
you know,
reasonable
exactly.
enough.
If
all
they're
these-
stable, we're safe.
All of these
There you
people
go.
that want to throw these guys out, who the hell do they think they're going to replace it? What, Tony Blair?
Exactly,
No, you can have all
exactly.
these wahibis or whatever they call themselves in there,
Wahhabis.
or hobbies or something, all right?
I'll draft an op-ed, for better or worse, that
I'll
you can
take the
take to Hagel,
reporters.
and you
I'll
can tell him he
take
wants.
the
He can do whatever he
Post, the
wants with
Times,
it.
Klein. Did you say Joe Klein
Good.
called you?
You know,
Good, Tommy.
rewrite it in his own words.
Remind Senator Boxer of this. Since the religious police locked those girls in that burning building because they weren't veiled correctly, they have moved the girls now into a different education system. They're making reforms with women over there.
Right.
So we
glad
have
to
women
tell her that.
exchange programs. Do you think
What's the
Israel
alternative? You're exactly
Israel
right,
wants
Tommy.
anybody but the House of Saud in there? To who?
Exactly.
You know, we're going down there to speak to the Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County. Now, we will tell them how great Saudi Arabia is and that they're making all of this.
They're reforming, and the region is
about
stable, and
Good.
they're reformable.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Senator Boxer is going to leave if we don't.
James, get on it. Put on a coat.
Why do we have an embassy there? Why do they have an embassy here? Why do we sell them airplanes? Why do they fly Boeing airplanes on Saudi? I go to Dulles Airport. There's Saudi Air. They
can
fly
find
our
any
airplanes. They're
rationale,
doing all of
James.
these things.
James.
We buy off of them like it's crazy. Every oil company is there. Every oil services company is there. We're
Use
selling
the
our
money. There's
products
$3
to
trillion
them
on
in the
deposit in the
whole
country.
wrath of the entire United
You're
States Senate in the form of Barbara Boxer, D. California, has fallen on the head of
Because-
one J. Carville,
Yeah.
Carville, Louisiana.
That's
And now,
right.
in addition to that, I have Amnesty International, and I've now been turned into some murdering anti-woman thug, and what I'm trying to do is build a firm here and making a case for somebody, but
James, how long do we go back?
a long time, Senator.
I know.
Long time.
Think back early 90s, late 80s. Remember apartheid? Remember apartheid?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not, I'm sure.
Well, we call it gender apartheid, what's going on there, James. I mean, if we were sitting right now in a restaurant, if we were Saudi Arabian and I wasn't married to you, we were just friends, I could be arrested. Am I right, Bill? On the point?
Absolutely. Saudi Arabia is one of the most systematic oppressors of women in the world.
What about the idea of reforming from the inside? I mean,
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely, they
to
could,
be
and they
involved in this
must
country
reform.
is to be involved in the reformation of how they treat women.
But when you reduce the pressure that's brought to bear upon them, as you all are doing, by trying to paint a pretty picture, by trying to make a nightmare into a dreamland.
I'd rather look at it
That's-
as we're trying to work within the system, if you will. I mean, you can have more influence. I mean, we sort of can present to them some things that they need to do. I think one of the reasons that they've hired us is because they have a terrible image, and maybe we can suggest things
But that's
that they
his
can do.
point. That's his point.
And look, you know, you saw what happened this morning. You saw our demonstration, Amnesty International's demonstration here in your firm. Amnesty
Did
International
indeed.
has 1.5 million members in 140 countries around the world. I think this is your client list. I think you'd confirm that. And I suspect that your clients are not going to be happy when they have Amnesty International demonstrations outside of all of their offices, are they? I don't think your colleagues overseas are going to be happy when Amnesty International demonstrators are there. I think this is a matter of pure business for you, quite apart from the ethical questions.
Well,
Hello?
Hi, Mary. I have Bill Crystal on the phone for you.
Hi, Mary.
Hey, Bill, what's shaking?
How are you?
I'm fine, and yourself?
I'm just fine up here in Cambridge, Massachusetts, surrounded by people who think Howard Dean is too conservative to be the Democratic nominee. It's wonderful up here. It's wonderful up
So
here.
you're the Antichrist?
Yeah, I really get a lot of very friendly reception up here. Yeah, I'm calling because I got a heads up that you guys might be working for something called the Council for Mideast Progress.
Right.
So I've been told by pretty reliable sources who are not alarmist about this kind of thing that they really are a Saudi front, and indeed a front for the more terrorist-friendly parts of the Saudi royal family. And I don't know anything about it, and you should check it out, but I just wanted to pass that on to you.
Well, you are a doll and a good friend, and I appreciate that, but I want you to know, which I'm sure you already do know, that I couldn't have done the work that I did and in any way be associated with anything like that. That goes without saying.
Obviously, I mean, that's where I'm calling. Don't usually butt into your business, but you don't want to be associated even indirectly with something that's somehow in bed with a terrorist, so.
Well, sometimes I don't even want to be associated indirectly with my husband, but as I said to somebody else.
Very sensible. Many of us have thought that, have wondered about that over the years, Mary, but you know.
No, he's a.
We don't want to get into your personal life.
He is a patriot. We're not doing it. I don't know where it's coming from. It's uglier than the campaigns we've done together, so.
Okay.
So go back and do battle up there and, go mold some young minds.
Yeah, right.
Get them fresh.
I'm sure I'll have great success.
Oh.
Be well. See you soon.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks so much. Love you. Bye.
Yes, sir. And all we're asking is that somebody, your sort of knowledge of your background, that somebody would say, before we rush into saying that we ought to do everything we can to undermine this regime, there's some reasons that we need to stop and pause and look at this.
Well, credibility is obviously pretty important here. It makes me question how serious they are if they come to James.
Well, they came to Mary, too.
Well, now we're getting the full story.
They're actually there for me. They're actually there to see me.
And of course, Maggie's a pro, and so I've worked with Maggie over the years, and I know she knows what she's doing. The only advice I'd give, and you know this, don't exaggerate, don't fabricate. A marketing effort is a marketing effort. The image is important, but the product is what counts. Right. The perception of the American public is going to be formed not on an op-ed or a TV ad, but on the actions of the Saudi government. The Saudis have been important, reliable allies. We've not always agreed with them. We've had differences. We still do. But it's far more responsible to work with them. It's in Israel's interest as well, in the interest of peace, stability in the Middle East, especially now in what we're doing in Iraq.
I know you're busy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Always good to
Best to Mary.
I will. Absolutely.
And go Tigers.
Sir,
good to see you again.
Thank you for all the work that you do.
Hello.
Mary, I have Ken Edelman on the line.
Okie dokie, put him through. People think or have been putting out, or somebody's putting out, and if you hear who, I'd appreciate your passing back, that this particular client is a front for a terrorist group, which you know would never be the case. We would never do that. But in general, Ken, our being on the same side of this, I mean, if not us, who? I mean, someone has to get in there and start the reform ball rolling, and we can't really represent them well unless they actually do real reform. So that's kind of the...
Well, that is the hope of, all of us, and that's certainly the view of the U.S. government. And, just by chance, I was talking yesterday to people in the Israeli embassy, and, they said that regime change in Saudi Arabia was not their priority, in fact, not even one of their goals necessarily, but, they were against the terrorism and the spewing of hatred and anti-Semitism that comes out of Saudi Arabia. But, the kind of war path that people like me have been on is certainly not shared by them, and certainly not by the Bush administration. Listen, if you can get them reformed so that they go from an 11th century country to even an 18th century country, I'll be awfully happy.
All right, I'm shooting for the 18th century. I want to do a pre-automobile so we won't have this oil issue. How's that?
Hey, there's a gentleman here to see you. Says he's a friend of Gail Lucas.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hi, Maggie. I'm a friend of Gail's.
Uh-huh. How can I help you?
I'm here informally at this point. I need you to stop calling Gail.
Okay.
If I have to come back, it's going to be formal.
What do
and
you
I don't think you want that. I don't think Gail wants that. It could get very ugly.
This is ridiculous. I left her message. This is ridiculous.
You can't leave any more messages.
Okay. It's fine.
Do you understand that?
Uh-huh.
You understand what will happen if you do?
Uh-huh. Fine.
That's all.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do me a favor and finish off this B list for me. I just got to run out. Do you mind?
No.
Thanks. I'll be back in a few.
Maggie. Maggie.
Hey.
Hey, hey.
How are you? Hi.
Good. You mind if I join you?
No, that's cool. Thanks. Yeah, it's fine.
1-4.
Sorry.
One
Thank
napkin.
you. I'm just a little out of it today. Thanks.
So am I. Look, I'm really sorry about what happened in the meeting.
That's all right. That's all right.
No, it's not all right because
I'm sorry too.
I'm feeling a lot of pressure right now coming into this new thing, and sometimes I have to, I have to be somebody that I really don't want to be sometimes. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. It's really nice.
And I don't want to be the person who's alienated from another person whom I happen to admire greatly. I'm very sorry, Maggie. And, it's not going to happen again.
Thank you for saying it. Thanks.
So you're from Jersey? I'm in California. I was conceived in San Francisco, so that's
Really?
why my parents
Sweet.
called me Francisco.
Sweet. City of Love.
It's kind of a romantic thing. It's like a Tony Bennett song, I guess. But I'm tired of working. It's time to play. So, what do you play?
I don't play very much.
No?
No.
Softball?
No. I just run for exercise.
Running?
Sorry, I'm not feeling very chatty.
Would you prefer
It's not you. I really appreciate what you said.
Maybe you should...
coming down here and saying that. Sweet. I just feel, it's not you. I'm just not feeling well today.
First, if they deserve representation, why should you guys do it? You're my friends. Why should you guys get your nice Gucci loafers all dirty? And second, get them to change. Tell them you won't represent them unless they really will change. Instead of giving us words, and they don't change. How about this? Our intelligence people want to talk to somebody in Saudi Arabia who said he heard terrorists talking about gassing New York City subway cars, putting chemical weapons. They won't let him talk to them. The Saudis won't let the FBI go talk to him. The only way they're going to survive is if they come clean, if they say which side of the fence they're on and join us. You'll be doing a service for them if you get them to change.
I mean, the point is we have to deal with this part of the world. We have to have some kind of a stability in the region. And if we get rid of these guys, and you go in there and I doubt if you have an election and there's who's to say if Bin Laden doesn't come back? Who's to say if the House of El-Assad doesn't come back in? Bin Laden, who hates them, who always talks about returning the Arabian Peninsula, the holy sites of Medina and Mecca, back to his crowd, That these people are not worthy to be keepers of the flame of Israel. When they come back, then what's going to happen to Israel, which we both care desperately about? Nobody can accuse you of being duplicitous on this issue, and you're passionate about it, okay? I'm getting
or mild manners.
Yeah, my wife's like a wood shampoo. I'm getting beat over the head with a rolling pin here.
But I'm talking
about the Saudis a change.
You're my friends too.
I understand.
This is not good for you. It's not good for America. You ought to think about that. You ought to think about that.
Hey, Mary.
How are
fancy
you?
meeting. You know, it's really amazing that I bumped into you at this point because, you know, I'm doing a piece about the Saudis and about the double standard. You don't want to hear about the Saudis, right?
It's been a
But it's
bad
gonna be
Saudi
a big
day. I'm not going to address this because everybody in town is representing the Saudis. They are friends of America. They have been for a long time. But what I want to tell you is my friend. Let me tell you as my friend. What's really going around about us, what you're really sniffing, and I'm asking you as a 20-year-old friend to sniff out, not that we represent the Saudis, but that this particular group, our Mideast Council, is...
What group is this?
It's the Council for Mideast Progress. That is somehow...
That's like an oxymoron, Mideast Progress.
You know what? You've turned
like
into a real
regress.
cynic. You've been invaded by the pod people. You've never been like this, Mr. New Paradigm. Let me say new paradigm. We're in a new paradigm. It's the 21st century. This is an asymmetrical thread. We're on it, like white on rice. I want to ask you as a friend, though, whoever is out there putting out that this council that we're representing for the Saudis is somehow a funnel to terrorists, would you please, A, shut it down, because you know it's not true.
I don't know it's not true.
Joe.
If it's not true, that's fine, but just a piece of advice, Mary. I mean, look, we've known each other for a long time, as you said. But you want to be cleaner than clean on this Saudi business.
You think we wouldn't check it out? Just because James acts like a terrorist doesn't mean he worked for terrorists. You can't be serious. You're doubting us? Joe, you're
telling me that you're not taking money from one of the Saudi charities that's also backing Al Qaeda?
Let me ask you this. You think I would have done what I did for the last 2 years and go through all of that at the White House, post 911, and then go work for the terrorists? Does that make any sense? Please.
It doesn't make all that much sense to become a lobbyist after all you've done in the past.
Honey, the best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. We need money. I got 2 little ones. I'm an old mother. I got young kids. We got to go.
All I'm saying is, the Saudi, we need to, I got to get Maggie and Tommy. I want to put a plan together. The first thing they need is a 24-hour monitoring, media monitoring thing. So when they get a story and they're not included in it, don't have a point, they can react to it. They also need, and the same thing on television. They need to have some kind of Bureau of Middle East Progress or some crap that they have us in, like a speakers bureau, a place that books people. If they know there's a show coming up and they're getting ready to get pounded, that they ask to get their side of the story in, okay? They need a lot of third-party stuff. No more ads that say, signed by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Their image is for shit in this country. They need to go to all these people making all that money there and say, you know what? You're doing a lot of business with us, and you want to stay.
Listen to what you're outlining here. First of all, Maggie and Tommy are now in disaster control. So they can go get in the stories, but somebody else has to do the media monitoring. Secondly, what you are doing here is laying out an entire complicated, big picture strategy for which you should be getting, we should be getting, the firm should be getting paid commensurate with what it's going to take us to get this done. This is not getting them into parties and making a few phone calls. This is
I agree, and I think we got to get more money. But going there in these companies, in this Saudi Arabia American Foundation of Business Council or something, they're sucking on that sugar tit over there. They got to cough up some of the sugar. If you fly on a Saudi airline and serve no alcohol on the airline, thank you. Thank you. Where did Mary go?
I'm coming.
Cheers.
What is this? doing here?
Welcome to the Saudi Arabian Embassy. Cheers.
I mean, I'm a little, surprised.
You're just gotta stop this, okay? It's ethereal. It's freaking people out.
I talked to 2 members of the council. I told them the moral difficulties that we were going through. They doubled the offer.
They doubled our offer.
They doubled the offer. Cheers.
So
I'm sorry, once again, see, I'm being weighted down by them. This is just what we were talking about in the car, that this effort requires compensation, and he did it. How are you overcoming your moral? Don't worry about how he does it. He just always does it.
I got dumped. I think.
So wait a second.
I don't know. Are you okay?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I mean, nothing. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not, I don't want to be. What can I do? It's not a big deal. It's like nothing. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna forget about it. What can I do?
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Looking for a date?
Yeah.